Your entire life was planned before you were even born. Every choice, every challenge, every connection, you chose them all, not randomly, but with purpose. Ancient teachings and modern discoveries suggest that before birth, your soul existed. In the realm beyond time, weaving the tapestry of your existence, you picked your parents, your challenges, even the obstacles you'd face, all to shape your growth and evolution. This knowledge has been hidden, labeled taboo, or dismissed by those who fear its implications. Because if you knew the truth about your origins, you'd understand the power you hold over your own life, and that's something they can't afford for you to realize. In this video, we'll dive into the secrets of pre-birth existence, exploring esoteric teachings, scientific parallels, and forbidden wisdom that's been kept from you. What happens before birth isn't just a mystery, it's the key to unlocking the purpose of your life. Imagine a space beyond anything we know, a realm of pure consciousness where time as we understand it doesn't exist. Ancient teachings describe this as the pre-birth realm, a dimension where the soul resides before it embarks on its earthly journey. In Tibetan Buddhism, this phase is known as the bardo, one of several intermediate states of being. Here the soul hovers between worlds, untethered by a physical body, yet deeply connected to the spiritual laws that guide its destiny. This isn't a chaotic limbo, it's a space of immense purpose. The bardo is said to be where karma directs the soul's next incarnation, with desires, unresolved debts, and spiritual intentions, pulling it toward its future life like magnets. But Tibetan Buddhism isn't the only tradition that speaks of this mysterious place. Hermetic texts reference the idea of a plane of causation, where the soul aligns with the vibrational frequencies of its chosen path. The Emerald Tablet's axiom, "as above, so below," reflects this perfectly. What happens in the higher realms shapes material reality, and the choices made there determine the trajectory of the soul's earthly experience. In this dimension, your essence isn't bound by flesh and bones, but exists as luminous energy, deeply aware of its infinite potential. Why does this realm matter? Because it's here that the blueprint of your life is created. Every challenge, every joy, every heartbreak, it's not random. You chose them all, influenced by the energetic imprints of past lives and the soul's desire to grow. Think of it as a cosmic drafting table where you, as a soul, work alongside universal laws to sketch the outline of your human journey. Guided by karma, you're drawn to the family, environment, and circumstances that will teach you the lessons your spirit craves. This idea of pre-birth planning challenges the common belief that life is a series of coincidences. Instead, it paints a picture of profound intentionality, where even the most painful moments are opportunities for growth. It's not an easy truth to accept, especially when faced with suffering or loss, but ancient wisdom assures us that these experiences are part of a greater design. If you've ever felt that your life carries a deeper purpose, that certain events or relationships seem almost destined, you've glimpsed this hidden truth, yet there's more to this realm than just planning. Some traditions describe it as a place of great beauty and peace, where souls reconnect with a higher sense of unity before their next incarnation. In Gnostic teachings, this is referred to as the pleroma, a state of divine fullness and harmony. It's a stark contrast to the earthly plane, where duality and separation often dominate our experience. But this brief respite isn't permanent. The soul knows it must return, descending from this higher state into the dense physical reality of human life. What if you knew that before you were born, you sat down with a group of souls, some you've known for lifetimes, and planned your journey together? You chose your challenges, relationships, and even your greatest hardships, all with the intention of growth. This isn't fantasy. It's a profound teaching found across esoteric traditions, from Tibetan Buddhism to Hermeticism, and even echoed in modern metaphysical research. The concept of soul contracts suggests that every major event in your life was agreed upon before you arrived on Earth. These agreements are not imposed, but created with love and a deep understanding of your soul's need to evolve. Imagine drafting a cosmic script where every character, your parents, friends, lovers, even adversaries, plays a role in your spiritual development. These soul groups, as they're often called, collaborate to ensure that the lessons you need to learn are presented in your life. It's a cooperative effort, not a solitary journey. Take relationships, for example. Have you ever met someone and felt an instant connection, as if you've known them forever? Or perhaps the opposite, a person who seems to challenge you at every turn, pushing your patience to its limits. These aren't coincidences. According to soul contract theory, these individuals are fulfilling roles you both agreed upon before birth. The loving parent who nurtures you, the friend who supports you, the partner who tests you, and even the rival who pushes you to grow, they're all part of the plan. Why would a soul choose pain or hardship? This is one of the most difficult questions to grapple with, yet it's central to the idea of life planning. Growth rarely happens in comfort. The soul knows that challenges build resilience, compassion, and wisdom. A life without struggle might feel pleasant, but it offers little opportunity for transformation. For this reason, souls often choose trials that will stretch their limits and force them to confront their deepest fears. It's not about punishment, it's about evolution. The idea of soul contracts also helps explain patterns in life that seem too specific to be random. For instance, people who repeatedly find themselves in toxic relationships may be working through karmic ties that were left unresolved in previous lives. The lesson might be self-love, boundaries, or forgiveness. Until the lesson is learned, the pattern persists. It's as if the soul has signed a spiritual agreement to face these challenges until the growth is complete. This teaching can be found in many ancient traditions. In the Bhagavad Gita, for example, Krishna speaks of the eternal soul's journey, reincarnating time and again to fulfill its dharma. Hermeticism frames life as an intricate interplay of universal laws, where every action has a consequence, and every consequence teaches a lesson. These teachings remind us that life is not random. It's a perfectly orchestrated dance of free will and cosmic law. Modern metaphysical researchers like Michael Newton in Journey of Souls have documented thousands of cases where individuals, under hypnosis, recall the pre-birth planning process. Subjects describe gathering in a higher realm with their soul groups, reviewing past lives, and determining what their next incarnation should involve. They speak of guides or higher beings who assist in this process, ensuring that each soul's choices align with their ultimate growth. Imagine stepping into a life where you knew every twist and turn ahead of time, every triumph, every heartbreak, every lesson meticulously mapped out. Would you still experience it the same way? Would it feel real? The ancient wisdom of countless traditions teaches us that the answer is no. To live fully, authentically, and freely, we must forget. This act of forgetting, often referred to as the veil, is both a profound challenge and a sacred gift. It's the reason we don't remember our pre-birth planning or the spiritual truths we once knew. It's what makes life on Earth a truly immersive experience. The veil ensures that each moment feels genuine. Without it, you'd live as though you were reading from a script, detached from the emotions and choices that define human existence. This forgetting is not a mistake or a punishment. It's a vital part of the design. By stepping into life with no recollection of the soul contracts you made, you gain the opportunity to rediscover these truths through experience. It's like solving a puzzle you didn't know you were holding the pieces to. Every decision you make, every connection you form, and every challenge you face brings you closer to the greater understanding of who you are and why you're here. Plato captured this idea in his allegory of the cave, where he described souls descending into the material world, losing sight of the divine light. In Gnostic teachings, this veil is depicted as the separation between the earthly and the divine realms, a barrier that obscures our inherent knowledge of the universe. The veil isn't a barrier to punish or confuse us. It's the ultimate tool for growth. Without it, life would lack the richness of free will. Choices would be predetermined, and the profound emotions tied to love, fear, loss, and triumph would be hollow. The veil also plays a critical role in how we experience relationships and connections. Imagine knowing the exact role every person in your life was destined to play. How could you authentically forgive someone who hurt you if you knew they were simply following a pre-birth agreement? The pain, the struggle, and the reconciliation, all of it would feel artificial. By forgetting, you engage with others in a raw and real way, making the lessons of love, compassion, and forgiveness all the more powerful. Yet the veil doesn't mean that your pre-birth intentions are lost. While you may forget the specifics of your soul contracts, the blueprint of your life still guides you. This is often felt as intuition, a sense of knowing without knowing. Have you ever had an inexplicable pull toward a person, place, or decision? That's your soul whispering through the veil, nudging you toward the path you planned. Interestingly, modern research into near-death experiences supports this concept. Thousands of individuals who have briefly crossed the threshold between life and death report remarkably similar experiences. A journey through darkness toward light, encounters with deceased loved ones, and most tellingly, a profound sense of remembering. Many describe the sensation not as discovering something new, but as returning to a state of knowing they had somehow forgotten. Dr. Raymond Moody, who pioneered research into NDEs, found that subjects consistently reported a feeling of coming home during these experiences, as if the afterlife realm was more familiar than earthly existence. This sense of recognition suggests that the veil temporarily lifts during these extraordinary moments, allowing us to glimpse what we once knew before birth. One particularly striking aspect of NDEs is the life review, where individuals witness their entire life playing out before them, not just as observers, but feeling every emotion their actions caused others. This mirrors the Tibetan Buddhist concept of the soul, reviewing its karmic imprints before choosing its next incarnation, suggesting a profound connection between death and pre-birth states. The veil is also deeply tied to the concept of free will. Without it, life would feel more like a simulation than a journey. You wouldn't wrestle with difficult choices or grow through mistakes because the answers would already be clear. The veil ensures that every decision you make is fully yours, allowing you to shape your life in real time. Before you took your first breath, before you even entered your physical form, a complex web of universal laws was already at work, shaping the blueprint of your life. These laws, karma, vibration, and attraction, operate like the unseen threads of a vast cosmic tapestry, weaving together the circumstances, relationships, and challenges that form your journey. They are neither arbitrary nor punitive, but are instead guiding principles that ensure balance, growth, and evolution. To understand your life fully, you must first understand how these laws function, particularly in the pre-birth realm. Karma is perhaps the most well-known of these universal laws, yet it's also one of the most misunderstood. Many view karma as a form of cosmic punishment, a tit-for-tat system that rewards good deeds and punishes bad ones. But in its truest sense, karma is not about retribution, it's about balance. It's the law of cause and effect, ensuring that every action, intention, and decision creates an energetic ripple that must eventually return to its source. Before birth, your soul reviews these ripples, the unresolved debts, unlearned lessons, and unfulfilled intentions from past lives. These karmic imprints guide the choices you make in the pre-birth realm, influencing the life path you design. Imagine, for instance, a soul who struggled with greed or selfishness in a past life. In the pre-birth realm, this soul might choose a life of financial hardship to cultivate humility, generosity, and gratitude. Another soul, who perhaps inflicted pain on others, might plan a life filled with opportunities to learn compassion and forgiveness. These choices are not forced upon the soul. They are made willingly, with the understanding that growth often comes through challenge. Karma, then, is not a punishment. It's a teacher, offering the soul exactly what it needs to evolve. But karma is only one piece of the puzzle. The law of vibration is equally important in the pre-birth planning process. This law states that everything in the universe, from the smallest particle to the most complex being, vibrates at a specific frequency. Your soul's vibration, shaped by your intentions, emotions, and karmic imprints, determines the circumstances of your next incarnation. In the pre-birth realm, you align yourself with the vibrational patterns that will best facilitate your growth. This is why some souls are drawn to environments of peace and stability, while others gravitate toward chaos and upheaval. Each vibration holds the potential for unique lessons and opportunities. The Emerald Tablet, a cornerstone of Hermetic philosophy, captures this idea perfectly with its famous axiom, "As above, so below." The vibrations of your soul in the spiritual realm are mirrored in the physical world. If your soul carries the vibration of love and service, you are likely to attract a life filled with relationships and circumstances that reflect those qualities. Conversely, if your vibration is clouded by fear or resentment, your life may present challenges that force you to confront and transcend those energies. The law of vibration ensures that your external reality is always a reflection of your internal state. The law of attraction builds on this principle, acting as a magnet that draws experiences, people, and opportunities into your life based on your vibrational frequency. In the pre-birth realm, your soul uses this law to align with the specific conditions it needs to fulfill its purpose. If your goal is to learn resilience, for example, you might attract a life filled with obstacles that push you to develop inner strength. If your purpose is to heal, you may be drawn to a family or community where your unique gifts can flourish. The law of attraction ensures that nothing in your life is random. Everything is connected to the intentions you set before you were born. These laws are not just theoretical concepts, they are reflected in ancient texts and teachings across cultures. The Bhagavad Gita speaks of the soul's eternal journey, guided by dharma and karma. The Hermetic writings emphasize the interplay of cause, effect, and vibration in shaping reality. Even Gnostic teachings describe a divine order that governs the soul's descent into the material world. These teachings, though thousands of years old, align remarkably well with modern metaphysical insights and even emerging scientific theories about consciousness and energy. Have you ever wondered why profound spiritual teachings, like the ones about pre-birth existence and universal laws, remain hidden from the masses? It's not because they lack merit or relevance. On the contrary, this knowledge is transformative. It can empower individuals to take control of their lives, break free from fear, and live with purpose. And that's precisely why it's been suppressed. Throughout history, those in power have recognized that an empowered and awakened population is far harder to control. The deliberate obscuring of these truths is one of the greatest acts of manipulation humanity has ever endured. Let's start with history. Ancient texts that speak openly about pre-birth existence and the nature of the soul have often been guarded, restricted, or outright destroyed. Take the Hermetic writings, for example. These profound teachings on the nature of the universe, karma, and the soul's journey were accessible only to a select group of initiates for centuries. The Gnostic texts, which emphasize spiritual awakening and the soul's pre-birth knowledge, were suppressed by organized religions, particularly during the early Christian era. Many Gnostic writings were declared heretical and systematically eradicated. Why? Because these teachings offered an alternative view of life, one that didn't depend on fear or blind obedience to an external authority. They taught that the divine resides within you, that you have the power to shape your destiny, and that life's challenges are opportunities for growth rather than punishments for sin. These ideas undermined the control systems that relied on people, seeing themselves as powerless and dependent. It's easier to govern a population that believes they are at the mercy of forces beyond their control than one that knows its own divine potential. Even today, remnants of this suppression are evident. Esoteric teachings are often dismissed as pseudoscience or New Age nonsense, relegated to the fringes of academia and public discourse. Meanwhile, mainstream systems, from education to religion, focus on narratives that keep people confined to narrow perspectives. The concept of pre-birth planning, for instance, is rarely discussed openly, despite its alignment with many ancient traditions and modern metaphysical findings. This isn't an accident. It's the result of a concerted effort to keep people from realizing how much power they truly have. But who benefits from this? The answer lies in the structures of power and control. Governments, corporations, and dogmatic institutions thrive on predictability and compliance. An awakened population, one that understands the laws of karma, vibration, and attraction, would demand accountability, question authority, and prioritize spiritual growth over material gain. Imagine what would happen if people realized they didn't need to conform to societal pressures or buy into fear-driven narratives to find fulfillment. Entire industries, from consumerism to pharmaceuticals, are built on the premise that people are incomplete and must seek external solutions to fill the void. Organized religion has also played a role in this suppression. Many religious institutions have historically relied on fear and guilt to maintain their influence. The idea that your soul is inherently divine and that you can shape your destiny through universal laws doesn't fit neatly into a framework that emphasizes sin, punishment, and the need for external salvation. By erasing teachings about pre-birth planning and the soul's autonomy, these institutions ensured that people remained dependent on their guidance. But suppression isn't just a historical phenomenon, it continues today. Modern media and entertainment often ridicule or distort esoteric concepts, framing them as fantastical or irrelevant. At the same time, we're inundated with messages that reinforce the idea that life is random, chaotic, and beyond our control. This narrative serves to keep people in a constant state of anxiety and consumption, searching for meaning in external sources rather than within themselves. Yet the suppression of this knowledge doesn't mean it's gone. Throughout history, there have always been individuals and groups who've preserved and shared these teachings, often at great personal risk. The Hermetic texts, the Emerald Tablet, the Gnostic scriptures, and countless other works have survived, passed down through secret societies, mystics, and scholars. If everything about your existence was carefully planned before birth, then your life isn't a series of random events. It's a masterpiece in progress. Every relationship, every challenge, every success was chosen with intention. This perspective has the power to transform how you view not only your past, but also your present. The question isn't just, why am I here? It's also, how can I align with my purpose right now? The ancient teachings about pre-birth existence are more than fascinating theories. They're a roadmap for living a life of meaning, growth, and fulfillment. One of the most profound lessons from this knowledge is how it reframes life's difficulties. Challenges are no longer arbitrary or cruel. They're opportunities. The painful breakup, the job loss, the family conflict, all of these are part of the curriculum your soul chose to help you grow. This doesn't mean you should welcome suffering, but understanding its purpose can make it more bearable. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective changes everything. Suddenly, obstacles become stepping stones and setbacks become lessons. Take a moment to reflect on your life. Think about the hardest experiences you've endured. What did they teach you? Did they make you more resilient, compassionate, or self-aware? These qualities are not random byproducts of hardship. They're the very reason you chose those experiences in the first place. When you start to see life this way, even the most challenging moments gain a sense of meaning and direction. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstance and start realizing that you're an active participant in your soul's evolution. Another key lesson is the importance of relationships. If soul contracts are real, then every significant connection in your life serves a purpose. Your closest relationships, whether harmonious or difficult, are opportunities for growth. The friend who always lifts you up, the partner who challenges you, the co-worker who tests your patience, all of them are playing roles in your spiritual journey. This understanding invites you to approach relationships with greater empathy and intention. Instead of seeing someone as difficult or toxic, consider what their presence might be teaching you. Perhaps it's patience, boundaries, or forgiveness. But this perspective isn't just about personal growth. It's also about gratitude. When you realize that every relationship is part of a greater plan, you start to appreciate the people in your life on a deeper level. The loved ones who support you aren't just kind souls. They're part of your soul group, fulfilling the contracts you made together before birth. Recognizing this can deepen your connections, fostering a sense of unity and purpose in your interactions. Now, let's talk about your purpose. Ancient teachings remind us that the soul doesn't incarnate aimlessly. It has a mission. Your talents, passions, and even your struggles are clues to what that mission might be. Are you drawn to creative expression, teaching, healing, or leadership? These aren't random interests. They're whispers from your soul, guiding you toward your purpose. When you align your actions with these inner callings, life flows more smoothly. Challenges still arise, but they feel meaningful rather than futile. This knowledge of pre-birth planning also provides profound comfort around death and loss. When we understand that souls choose their experiences, including when to exit the physical realm, grief can be transformed. Those who've had near-death experiences often report a sense of peace and understanding about the life cycle of the soul, viewing death not as an end but as a transition. Many NDE survivors describe meeting deceased loved ones in a realm that feels both familiar and extraordinary, as if reuniting with members of their soul group. They speak of a profound sense of homecoming, suggesting that death may simply be a return to the pre-birth realm, where souls review their experiences before planning their next journey. This perspective doesn't erase the pain of loss, but it does reframe it. Your connection with loved ones who have passed may extend far beyond this single lifetime. You may have traveled together through many incarnations and may continue to do so in future ones. When individuals awaken to the truths of pre-birth existence, the ripple effect extends far beyond personal transformation. Imagine a world where people no longer see life as a series of random events, but as a carefully planned journey designed for growth. Imagine communities built on empathy, understanding, and a shared sense of purpose. This is not a utopian fantasy. It's the natural result of collective awakening. As more people embrace the knowledge of their soul's journey, the structures of fear and control that have dominated human history begin to crumble. The first step toward collective awakening is awareness. When you realize that your life has meaning, that your struggles serve a higher purpose, and that you are connected to something far greater than yourself, your entire perspective shifts. This realization is contagious. Your actions, your words, and even your energy inspire others to question their own lives. Change doesn't happen in isolation. It spreads, fueled by the courage of individuals willing to embrace new ways of thinking. Empathy is one of the most profound results of this awakening. When you understand that everyone around you is navigating their own soul contracts and karmic lessons, it becomes harder to judge them. That person who cut you off in traffic, the co-worker who challenges you, the family member who tests your patience, they're not your enemies, they're your teachers. This shift in perspective dissolves the barriers that divide us, replacing them with compassion and understanding. Instead of reacting with anger or resentment, you begin to ask, what lesson might this person be teaching me? This collective empathy has the power to transform society. Imagine governments, organizations, and communities led by individuals who prioritize connection and growth over control and division. Decisions would be made with the understanding that we're all part of a shared spiritual journey, interconnected in ways that go beyond the material world. Conflicts could be resolved with a deeper sense of purpose, and collaboration would replace competition as the driving force of progress. But this shift doesn't happen overnight. It begins with small, intentional actions. It starts when one person decides to live authentically, align with their soul's purpose, and approach life with gratitude and mindfulness. These choices inspire others to do the same, creating a chain reaction that spreads through families, communities, and eventually entire societies. The process is organic, yet its impact is profound. One of the most powerful tools for collective awakening is the sharing of knowledge. For centuries, esoteric teachings were hidden from the masses, shared only among initiates or buried in obscure texts. But today, we have the ability to share these truths widely, reaching people who may have never encountered them otherwise. It's important to recognize that not everyone will embrace this knowledge immediately. Some may resist, clinging to familiar beliefs or fearing the implications of such a radical shift in perspective. And that's okay. Awakening is a deeply personal process, and everyone moves at their own pace. The goal is not to force change, but to plant seeds of curiosity and inspiration. Ask questions that make people think. Share stories that resonate on a soul level. These small acts of sharing can ignite a spark that leads to profound transformation. The idea of collective awakening is not new. It's been foretold in spiritual traditions across cultures. The concept of a golden age, or an era of enlightenment, appears in Hinduism, Buddhism, and even indigenous teachings. These prophecies often speak of a time when humanity shifts from ignorance and separation to awareness and unity. Many believe we are living in that transitional period right now. The growing interest in mindfulness, meditation, and spiritual teachings suggests that more people than ever are seeking deeper truths. But collective awakening isn't just about spiritual growth. It's also about dismantling systems of control. When individuals understand the laws of karma, vibration, and attraction, they become harder to manipulate. They stop living in fear, stop blindly following authority, and start questioning the narratives they've been fed. This is why the knowledge of pre-birth existence has been suppressed for so long. It threatens the very foundation of systems built On control, an awakened population cannot be easily divided, distracted, or subdued. The knowledge of pre-birth existence and the universal laws that shape our lives is liberating, but it's only the beginning. Understanding the truth is one thing, living it is another. The systems of control that surround us, from societal norms to economic pressures, are designed to keep us disconnected from our purpose and power. Breaking free requires more than awareness. It demands action, courage, and a commitment to living authentically. But the rewards are nothing short of transformational. The first step in breaking free is reclaiming your sovereignty. This means recognizing that you are not a victim of circumstance, but the architect of your own experience. Yes, challenges arise, and external forces can impact your life, but the power lies in how you respond to them. When you understand that every difficulty is part of the plan you helped create, you shift from a mindset of powerlessness to one of empowerment. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I do with this?" Next, take a hard look at the narratives you've been taught to accept. The idea that success is measured by wealth, that happiness comes from external achievements, or that security lies in conformity. These are all illusions perpetuated by systems that profit from your compliance. To break free, you must redefine these concepts on your own terms. What does success truly mean to you? What brings you genuine joy? What kind of life feels aligned with your soul's purpose? These questions aren't just philosophical, they are the foundation for reclaiming your life. A key part of this process is learning to detach from fear-based thinking. Fear is the most powerful tool of control. It keeps you compliant, afraid to take risks, and dependent on external authorities for guidance. But fear loses its grip when you understand that it is often a product of conditioning rather than reality. Begin to challenge your fears. Are they rooted in truth, or are they remnants of a narrative designed to limit you? When you face your fears head-on, you realize that most of them are illusions, shadows cast by a system that thrives on keeping you small. Mindfulness is a powerful tool in this journey. By staying present, you can step back from the noise of societal expectations and reconnect with your inner guidance. Meditation, journaling, or simply taking time each day to reflect can help you tune out the external chatter and listen to your soul's voice. These practices may seem simple, but they are revolutionary in a world that constantly pulls you away from yourself. They allow you to make decisions not out of fear or obligation, but from a place of authenticity and alignment. Another critical step is aligning your actions with your values. It's one thing to understand your purpose, but another to live in a way that reflects it. Start small. Choose one area of your life where you feel out of alignment, perhaps your career, relationships, or daily habits, and take steps to bring it closer to your truth. This might mean pursuing a passion you've neglected, setting boundaries with people who drain your energy, or simplifying your lifestyle to focus on what truly matters. Each step you take reinforces your sovereignty and weakens the system's hold on you. Breaking free also involves questioning where your time, energy, and resources are going. Are you investing in things that nourish your growth, or are you feeding into systems that exploit your insecurities? Consider the media you consume, the products you buy, and the habits you maintain. Every decision is a vote for the kind of world you want to live in. By choosing consciously, you can shift your energy away from systems of control and toward creating a life of purpose and freedom. One of the most challenging yet rewarding aspects of breaking free is embracing vulnerability. Living authentically means exposing yourself to judgment, failure, and uncertainty. It means stepping outside the safety of societal norms and daring to forge your own path. But vulnerability is not weakness, it's strength. It's the courage to be seen for who you truly are, even when it's uncomfortable. And it's in this space of vulnerability that true growth and connection happen. As you break free, you'll notice something incredible. Your actions inspire others. When you live authentically, you give those around you permission to do the same. Your courage becomes a beacon, showing others that it's possible to step out of the cycle of control and into a life of purpose. This is how collective awakening begins, not with grand revolutions, but with individuals reclaiming their power and leading by example. What if everything you thought you knew about life, death, and purpose was only the beginning? The knowledge of pre-birth existence isn't just a revelation about the past, it's a key to reshaping your future. This understanding redefines how you see every moment of your life. It transforms challenges into opportunities, relationships into soul connections, and existence itself into a masterpiece of intentional growth. Once you grasp this truth, the world no longer feels random or chaotic. It feels alive with purpose, and so do you. Redefining existence starts with one profound realization. You are not just a body or a personality. You are a soul on a journey. This simple truth has far-reaching implications. It means that your worth isn't tied to what you achieve, how much money you make, or the roles you play in society. Your value lies in your existence, your ability to grow, and your connection to the greater whole. This perspective dissolves the pressure to conform to societal standards and allows you to embrace your uniqueness. Life becomes more than a race to accomplish or acquire. It becomes an exploration of what it means to be alive. With this perspective, even the mundane gains significance. The conversations you have, the decisions you make, the way you treat others, all of these become opportunities to express your soul's intentions. The knowledge of pre-birth planning also transforms how you view death. Far from being the end, death becomes a transition, a return to the realm where you first crafted your life's blueprint. This understanding doesn't eliminate grief, but it adds a dimension of comfort and meaning to our experience of loss. Those who have crossed over haven't left us entirely. They've simply returned to the source from which we all emerge. Many near-death experiencers report that during their brief journey beyond the veil, they encountered not only loved ones, but also spiritual guides who seemed deeply familiar, perhaps the same beings who assisted in their pre-birth planning. They describe feelings of unconditional love and acceptance that defy earthly description, suggesting that both birth and death are doorways to the same eternal realm. This connection between NDEs and pre-birth memories points to a profound truth. The cycle of life, death and rebirth, is not a punishment, but a continual journey of the soul, each lifetime building upon the lessons and growth of those that came before. As you integrate this knowledge into your daily life, you may find yourself becoming more intentional about how you spend your time and energy. Understanding that you chose this life gives you the courage to live it fully, to embrace its joys, learn from its challenges, and remain present through its uncertainties. The revelations from near-death experiences further validate this perspective. Countless individuals who have briefly crossed the threshold between life and death report not just a journey toward light, but a profound remembering of their soul's greater purpose. They often describe meeting with spiritual guides and loved ones in a realm of unconditional love, where the artificial boundaries of physical existence dissolve. Many speak of an overwhelming sense that everything they experienced in life, even the most difficult moments, was exactly as it should be, serving a higher purpose in their soul's evolution. This symbiotic relationship between pre-birth planning and near-death experiences creates a perfect circle of understanding. The same realm we visit before birth appears to welcome us after death, suggesting that our earthly journey is but one chapter in an eternal story. And in that realm, there is no judgment, only love, learning, and preparation for the next adventure. As we collectively awaken to these truths, humanity stands at a crossroads. We can continue to accept the limited perspectives offered by materialistic worldviews, or we can embrace the profound wisdom contained in these ancient teachings, now increasingly validated by modern experiences and research. The choice is yours, but know this: once you glimpse the truth of your soul's journey, you can never fully return to the illusion of randomness and meaninglessness. Your life is a masterpiece you designed before you were born. Every challenge was carefully selected to help you grow. Every relationship was arranged to teach you specific lessons. Every joy was planted to remind you of the beauty that exists beyond the veil. This isn't just spiritual poetry, it's the hidden architecture of your existence. The freedom that comes with this knowledge is both exhilarating and sobering. It places the ultimate responsibility for your growth squarely in your hands, while removing any reason for self-pity or victim mentality. Your challenges aren't punishments, they're opportunities you specifically chose. Your relationships aren't accidents, they're sacred agreements. And your purpose isn't something to be found outside yourself. It's encoded in the very fabric of your being, waiting to be remembered. As you close this video and return to your daily life, carry this wisdom with you. Let it transform how you respond to challenges, how you treat others, and how you make decisions. Remember that you are a soul having a human experience, not a human having occasional spiritual insights. The veil may obscure your memory, but it can never change who you truly are, an eternal being on a journey of evolution and awakening. The forbidden knowledge you've discovered today isn't meant to remain hidden. It's meant to be lived. Share it through your actions, your compassion, and your courage to live authentically. In doing so, you become a beacon for others, helping to create the collective awakening our world so desperately needs. Your life was planned before birth. Now it's time to live it with intention, purpose, and the profound knowledge of who you really are.